This video is a little bit different than the one I had planned for video 3 in the series of 4. Instead of sharing my clients' stage 2 that I had spoken about, I actually want to share my own. So over the last week, I actually was forced into taking another look at why things weren't feeling really right for me. And it took me all the way back to square one so that I could re-look at square two. So I want to talk to you about that today. So I've actually been back on YouTube now since September, and I've been working on consistently putting out videos for you. And it hasn't necessarily started to flow. And as I was working on this video, things started to come clear for me, and I want to share with you how that actually happened. So as I was scripting this video, I was starting to notice that I was noticing my body feeling uncomfortable, noticing that I was relying on getting other people's opinions about how to move forward instead of really trusting myself. So what I did was I sat back for a bit and really looked at what was going on with me. So whenever I'm feeling out of sorts, or I feel like my path has kind of gone off the way it's meant to be, I need to get still. I need to be quiet with myself to actually really hear what's going on. So as I've shared before, as I'm going back into my business now after having a break, I'm doing this with also facing the MS, multiple sclerosis, limitations that are really getting in the way for me. So my big change is that I'm trying to run this business now with a body that really doesn't function the way it used to. But I was still trying to run the business ignoring that. So this was the part that was really starting to speak loudly to me, and I wasn't really choosing to get still with it. So what I began to see that as I was getting still was that I had been trying to skip squares. So this is common. There's usually a square that everybody in the change cycle, that everybody really doesn't like. And square 2 is the one for me, the dreaming and scheming square. And I was rushing through square 2, trying to get to square 3, which is taking action out in the external world. And my body was saying, this is not actually aligned with who you want to be. And I was forced finally to stop and pay attention. So with you, just make sure that you're paying attention, because your body will always guide you and let you know when you are on your right path forward. So like I said, what I was doing was that I was creating videos, I was looking productive, I was keeping to my consistent weekly schedule, and have been, but I was relying on other people's proven ideas, and because I didn't have a lot of energy, I was really relying on support outside of me to create these videos. But it was never landing exactly how I wanted to. So what I began to notice as I got still with myself was that I was blocking my own voice and really not connecting to you because I wasn't showing up authentically. So this is something that is really important to me, and which I'm going to shift to in my business. You're going to see a lot more of me showing up really authentically, showing you the messy middle and what it feels like when you're going through change, and how you really get led by your authentic self, your body, and your wisdom to take you on your path. So what I did was I actually moved back into some of these steps in square 1, which was disbelieving, that I spoke about in video 1 of this series. And I really got still with what I was believing. And some of those thoughts for me were, business owners do XYZ on YouTube. And things like, when I follow someone else's playbook, I can't get it wrong. So when I had these two thoughts that were leading me in how I was showing up, both of those were getting in the way of what's really important to me, and that's aligning with my values. So as I reframed those two thoughts, the work that I do with clients is really to check in and see what those thoughts are creating for you. And do you want that result? And I didn't want that result. So for me, I was able to choose new thoughts, which felt better to me and truer to me, which is I want my business to feel authentic. And I also want to honor my body's needs and do it the way that feels right for me. So with this new thought that I came up with, it really connected to me aligning with my values and me choosing to do the work that I'm showing here. And I want you to see what that messy middle looks like when you're trying to find your way, and you hit up against roadblocks. So this is, in this example, it's really about slowing down, checking in with yourself, seeing where you've wandered off your path, and pulling yourself back by listening to your own inner wisdom, and checking in that it feels right. So for me, my body will often be really loud and clear when things don't feel good. I'll just be rushing, I will be distracted, I'll be reaching out to other people to give me the answers that I need. And I very seldom will sit with myself to hear my own wisdom. So when I do that, I know I'm off track. When I got myself back on track, immediately what happened was I began to feel teary. So I immediately get teary when I'm like, oh, what a relief. This is exactly who I am. And I also feel a ton lighter. So it's just like, oh, I can breathe again, and things start to flow for me. So when they started to flow, after I'd redone that work in square one, or did it again, which happens, I was able to get back to square two work, which was the dreaming and scheming. And so for me, the dreaming was really looking at, what do I want this YouTube life coaching business to look like that really aligns with who I am, and also takes into consideration that I have MS, I don't have a ton of extra energy, and I need things to be flexible for me not to have to spend hours doing something because I just don't have the energy. So I've got this clearer picture of how I want to move forward, and it feels so much more freeing to me and inspiring. And one of the main things is that I want to talk to you authentically and vulnerably about exactly where I am, because we're always going through change. We're always going to be doing this work because life is constantly changing. And you don't get over it, you just hit the next change and you go through the whole thing again. So I'm in it just like everybody else and like you. So this is the messy middle of being in square two and square three and trying to get your path really solid. So I want to leave you with a question now. And this is really about, once you're stepping into this place of really seeing if you are on the right path and moving into square two, take the time to ask yourself, what are you feeling right now? What is your body telling you? What are you noticing about your moods and how you're feeling as you're trying to do things? Like I said, for me, it's always this rush, push, try harder kind of energy that often tells me, check in with yourself, slow down, and hear your inner wisdom. So what is it for you? When you stop, you slow down and ask yourself, where am I right now? And what do I need to give myself to make sure that I'm on my right path? So maybe for you, it's an external change in your life, like I was talking about with this client who had a rupture with her mother. Maybe it is like me and you're trying to start a new business and you've got MS. Or maybe it's something deeper and quieter, which is really what I found out it was for me, which was realigning my business to my values and really making sure that I am following what feels right to me, what I value the most. So any kind of change you're going through, start here. So I want you to get still, sit with yourself, see how you're showing up in the world right now, and just notice how your body is reacting. Notice that how you are reacting in the world as you're imagining this, noticing how it all feels. And then keep trying on different ways that you might make that shift or that change, so that if it doesn't feel aligned with you, you begin to scheme and come up with, other possible ways that feel really exciting to you. Your body will always guide the way. It'll always tell you information if you get still and listen to what is your next step. But often it's about slowing down, not rushing the process, and just moving forward, being guided by your inner wisdom and your body. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about what we do when we get into square three. So that's where I was rushing myself to get to, which is where I often feel more assured. Because it's what we're taught, it's what we're told. Take action, get moving, get things done. But often we rush to square three before we've really completed what we need to in square one and square two. But the good news is we'll often get pulled back to do any unfinished work that you need to do in the earlier squares, just like I did. And the more we can pay attention, the easier it is to hear those little whispers that you're not quite ready to move forward yet, or that action you're taking in square three is not quite right. Go back and do the work that you missed doing. So next week, I'm going to talk about the action that you take in the hero's saga of square three, and how you can really move forward based on that clarity you got from the work you did in square one and the work you did in square two. And if you've had to go back a few times, that's part of the process. The big piece here is you wanting to keep moving forward in a way that's aligning with yourself, your values, and not abandoning yourself. And that's one of the biggest things that we do, especially when we push forward into square three, is that we can do it not aligned with who we really are. So I look forward to seeing you again next week, and seeing what we can do and support you with moving forward as you're realigning and finding the path that feels right to you. All right, I look forward to chatting next week. Bye for now.